You saw this headline yesterday, fasting may make no difference to weight loss. So I'm going to run through the weight loss side of it, the fat loss side of it, and why fasting can still help you burn stubborn areas like your lower abs, your hips and your thighs, and the overall health and anti-aging benefits of fasting. So for weight loss, we all know that the only way you can lose weight is through a calorie deficit. If anyone tells you anything different, they are 100% lying to you. Whether you're counting calories or doing any other type of diet, you will only lose weight if you're in a deficit. Fasting works for weight loss because it's reducing your eating window. If you're awake 16 hours per day and you currently eat whenever you want, if I told you you could only eat for 8 hours of them 16 you're awake, chances are you're going to eat less food. And even though you're not tracking calories, because you're eating half the amount of time, you will consume less food and therefore eat less calories. It's just a really simple way to restrict calorie intake. Eating 16 hours a day down to 8 hours a day, you could do 3 meals per day down to 2 meals per day. You could just remove all carbs. It's just another method of restriction for weight loss. So for weight loss itself, it doesn't matter if you have 1 meal per day or 5 meal per days, if you fast or if you don't, it's all about total calorie consumption. Also hear this old thing about having 5 meals per day to spook your metabolism. This is a lie. You do burn calories when you digest food and you do increase your protein synthesis. So by having 5 meals per day, the argument was we can get more calorie burn. But if you had 1 meal per day, which was the same amount of calories as the 5 small meals, your total calorie burn, digestion of the food and the protein synthesis spike will be very similar. So it doesn't matter how many meals you have per day for weight loss. Okay, so fasting for stubborn fat loss. You have something called alpha 2 receptors on your fat cells. These are basically like brakes in your cells telling your cells not to release fat. And this is why it's super hard to lose fat around these areas because of these receptors. So there's a couple of ways to mitigate these receptors or like tell these receptors to shut up. First way is low insulin levels. So when you're fasted, obviously insulin levels are low. This will mean you'll have less of these receptors actively stopping your body from burning fat in these areas. So when you're doing fasted exercise, as opposed to like losing 90% of fat in the areas where you don't want to lose it and 10% of the areas you do want to lose it, you're going to burn fat from the stubborn areas. So think your lower abs, your hips, your thighs, stuff like that. Over the course of a day, even though the total amount of fat loss will be the same, you're going to lose proportionally more body fat from your stubborn areas. And that's one of the key benefits of fasted exercise. There's also a couple more methods on how you can inhibit these receptors to get more stubborn fat loss. You can also take a supplement called yohimbine. This helps block the alpha 2 receptors. Combine this with fasted exercise and you see a higher proportion of body fat loss in your stubborn areas. I've done this myself, I've seen a massive change, but obviously consult your doctor before taking any supplement. You also have caffeine, so having a black coffee before you train has been shown to have an effect on these receptors. 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight helps to increase lipolysis or fat burning. If I weigh 100 kilograms and I have 300 milligrams of caffeine before I train, it's going to help increase fat burning. It does this because it tells your body to produce more norepinephrine, basically adrenaline. Finally, you could do something which just spikes your adrenaline before you train. The more adrenaline you have in your system, the more likely you're going to burn stubborn fat areas. Bodybuilders, as an extreme example, will literally take adrenaline tablets. They're called ECAs, ephedrine, caffeine and aspirin. No matter what you do, the total amount of fat loss will be the same, but you'll burn more proportional body fat from your stubborn areas as opposed to the other areas. Finally, let's talk about the health benefits of fasting. When you eat, you increase blood sugars. Chronically high blood sugars are bad. It can damage your nerves, your blood vessels, your organs, and cause inflammation throughout your body. So a simple way to look at fasting, it reduces blood sugars and almost gives your body a break. Less inflammation, less stress from the body, less stress from your organs, just overall health benefits. Fasting has also been shown to increase autophagy, and this is like a big word in the anti-aging community. And autophagy is basically the cells cleaning themselves, removing the damage, repairing and rejuvenating. When you fast for roughly 16 hours, your amount of autophagy starts to increase. This has been shown to help slow down the aging process. But before you think fasting is a cure to all your health issues or it's going to keep you young forever, studies have shown that just being in a calorie deficit increases autophagy. So if you had someone who fasted for 20 hours and then had 1500 calories in the next 4 hours, they would have a similar amount of autophagy as someone who simply ate 1500 calories over a 24-hour time period. So fasting has a lot of health benefits and anti-aging benefits, but they're very similar to someone who's just in a simple calorie deficit. In my experience, I would say the weight loss and health benefits of fasting are very similar to being in a calorie deficit, and it's just the stubborn fat loss benefits of fasting that's where it really shines. If you like deep dives into topics, make sure to drop me a follow.